But the ocean conditions drive this fishery, as we all know, and it goes up and down and up and down. But you and I, before we wrap up this whole lifetime history here, which I've been working with fishery management for the last 40 years with the federal government, longer than that now. I worked with the state of California on fishery issues. The number one issue that we all have, and we'll never bite the bullet and talk about it, the conditions of the ocean would get 100% better if we could manage, just manage, I didn't say eliminate them, manage the sea lion problem that we have in the ocean. It is absolutely, unbelievably, even trying to get the environmentalists, most of them understand the problem, but they don't want to address it either because it's such a touchy subject. But at my 85 years of age, I know what causes 90% of the problem. It's very difficult for a young person to go fishing, catch a fish of their lifetime, and have a sea lion take it off the end of the hook. And it's, yeah, their whole attitude on a sea lion changes right then and there when that fish is stolen from them. These sea lions they have to survive too, but I mean, God, there's so many of them now. They're protected under the Marine Mammal Protection Act. And somebody's got to have to do something about it. I don't know who's going to do it, but I hope somebody has got the balls or the guts or whatever you want to call it to say that enough is enough, and we try to correct it. Thank you.
But like you said, the number one thing that's out of control here in California, but it goes all the way to Alaska, and it's getting really bad in Cabo, and all the islands in Mexico are just covered up with these animals, these sea lions, because of the fact that they have nowhere to go because the population's so overwhelmingly out of control. The swing of the pendulum is swung so far over to the wrong side for these animals. Even if you care about them, you would want to do something because of the overpopulation and the disease and the things that are being caused. Just the destruction of property. We won't even talk about fish. Let's just pretend like you have some docks in Dana Point Harbor, for example. Let's just pretend like you own a few docks in Dana Point.
I do.
Okay? Oh, you do. And if I went down there tonight with a couple of sledgehammers and a couple of buddies and we started beating the crap out of your docks, what would happen to us?
No, you'd be in trouble, but...
You think we go to jail?
No, yeah.
But if the sea lion, who's down there right this very split second, destroying the Helena dock, some fun dock, if he gets a splinter, what's going to happen?
They'll have rescuing. Yeah, we know that. We know what's going on.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
People don't really understand.
Well, we have an issue on the forage fish now, with the management company, with the federal government management, Pacific Fishery Management Council, the sardines and anchovies and squid. And probably the biggest culprit of that forage fish is not us, consumer, it's the sea lions eating it. And so, they don't have to weigh in and take it out of consideration how much they're actually eating and destroying. But then nobody wants to, and so, anyway, I'll keep fighting this battle till the day I die, so. What else is new, David?
Well, now we're in the harbor, it's here. You've been working for the National Marine Fisheries for 40-some years. You just talked about one of the number one problems, but the biggest problem that we have today, besides the California sea lion, which no one wants to talk about, you scratched on it for just a second, and we almost lost it here 2 months ago. You guys all need to understand what my father's talking about is this bait, this live bait fishery that we depend on, that is the heart of our whole fishery in Southern California. We're different than the East Coast. We're different than anywhere else in the world. We need our live bait because of the fact that there's so much bait. Our ocean out here is so rich with bait. That's why we have such a demand for a live bait fishery here in Southern California. And every boat you look at in Southern California has a big, giant drum of water on the back. And it's not because it's fun to drag water up and down the California coast. It's because of the fact that it's such a live bait fishery out here. And we are right on the edge. If there wasn't people like my father fighting for this, guys, this would go away. It's super important to understand what they're trying to take away from us right now is our live bait fishery. And when the boat goes out and catches the live bait, 90% of that bait is thrown back into the water alive. But they're going off a quota that doesn't even make sense. And just for a second, and I know you got a million things to do, but just talk about what they're talking about, because you're on the inside. We just know the ability of the outside. This is scary, ladies and gentlemen, and they want this, and they want it so bad, and it doesn't make any sense.
But the stock assessments done on sardines and anchovies are done by NOAA research vessels, hiring also commercial vessels to help them on their account. But most of the sardines here lately in the last few years have been on the beach, and they're not surveying the beach. The equipment, those are big ships trying to do this acoustical survey work, and it's hard for them to get to the beach. So we see all the sardines on the beach. We try to tell them that, and they're finally buying into a lot of this information they're getting. But everything they have to have, it has to be truth, and so on and so forth. And so we're getting closer and closer to understanding it. We also have a problem with the country south of us. Not so much of a problem, but it's just that there's a stock of sardines in Mexico called the southern stock or the northern stock of Mexico sardines that they don't read the sign there at the border. They go north and they go south, and sometimes they're assessed below we can't assess them below the border, so we're guessing what's going on below the border. We assess them when they're above the border, and so it's a touchy issue, and we've been working on it for years, trying to get better assessment out of Mexico. It's getting closer, and getting closer. We're going to find out there's two complete stocks of sardines. The northern stock that goes from here up to Canada, and the southern stock that goes from here south. So I think our bait boats here, I have in the last few years anyway, that's different from probably Diane or somebody else, but I kind of think we fished the southern stocks. And so the southern stocks are not impacted at all. So we've got an amendment through Congress that protected us this time on live bait fisheries. It passed, it's been out now. We can have a certain percentage of sardines for live bait. We should not exceed that. We won't exceed it, let's put it that way. Because the other time, we're getting more and more anchovies, as we all know. The anchovies are moving in. And that will happen because I was commercially fishing sardines in the early 50s every day with John Norick and those guys out of Newport Beach. And we'd come in a deck every night with a deck load of sardines to canneries in Newport. For you people that don't realize that there was 5 operating canneries in Newport Beach, California. There's none now. They're all gone. They're all restaurants or hotels or something. They're all gone. But we went out one night and didn't catch anything. And I said, oh boy. The next time I went out, didn't catch anything either. And they flat just disappeared. And they say that's because of overfishing and all, etc. Probably some of it was. I'm not denying that. But the regulations we have in effect now, that NOAA Fisheries has put in effect, that'll never happen again. You'll never get down to zero. It'll always have a base that you can't go below. They'll shut the fishery down immediately. They have shut the commercial sardine fishery down for the last 3 years. So that's the history, David.
So what do we do as citizens? Is there anything we can do?
No, you're fine right now. Everything stays the same. But when they do start looking at these things again, then we have to start really pushing hard to examine what, not what we consume, but what the sea lions consume.
Right,
and what
back to that.
What the birds consume, and what everybody else consumes, except just don't always pick on the poor fishermen. We're the easy ones to pick on because there's just a few of us, and we never, ever, and I've been doing this for a long time, ever got strong enough to say something like, no, that's wrong, because we never have.
Because we can't. 2 fishermen can't agree on nothing.
No, they agree on what size they lost.
Yeah, but we can't agree on nothing. You put us together in a room and it'll just turn into an argument in 5 seconds against each other. We can't stand united. So, hey guys, I want to thank Don Hansen for letting us interview him a little bit more. This is cool. We got a little bit deeper into the whole Dana Wharf thing and life, and and the National Marine Fisheries and all the cool things that are going on in the world today. And Don, thank you very much. I'm glad you hung in there long enough for us to get this interview.
I'm going to be around a few more years. So.
I sure hope so. This is pretty cool. And guys, my father was able to set us up to go interview Frank LaPresti. So the next interview with the legend will be with the legendary Frank LaPresti, and I'm sure we'll get to hear some real Don Hansen stories then, because he was there. He was there when you were just a young pup driving the boat, and he was 10 years old, 15 or whatever, going out.
The story before you talk.
There you go. Good.
No, this one is very simple. And he was working with me on the reel fund and as a pinhead, and which is we don't have that anymore, and because of the labor laws and everything else, you get a few kids that hang around here, but you got to be careful, and because of different things, the laws now have changed. But those kids love to fish, and just went fishing to have fun. But Frank was on the boat, and we had squid in the tank. They caught him with the anchovies, and for some reason we had squid, and so. I thought it was the greatest bait in the world. He told me it was pretty good to eat with spaghetti. So he showed me how to eat squid. So it's not a bad idea. So you can ask him how he likes cooking squid. Anyway, that's one of the stories on Frank. So thanks again, David, for...
Thank you, Pops. That was awesome.
Finish
all
up
right,
some more.
guys, check it out. Keep watching. There's going to be lots of more legends.